Good morning. Today we are interviewing Ben Anderson. Ben is a commissioned minister in the UCC, which is an order of lay ministers dedicated to particular ministries. He is the founder and director of Breakthrough Ministries, which last year celebrated their 40th anniversary. He was born with cerebral palsy, though it was misdiagnosed as mental retardation when he was a child. He earned a Bachelor of Science degree in vocational rehabilitation from the University of Wisconsin, and is the primary author or co-author of 3 books. We are glad to have the opportunity to interview him for our message today. Ben, could you briefly tell us about your disability?
I got cerebral palsy, which is a disability that have a lot to do with my coordination, my speech, and cerebral palsy could be defined as a motor defect of your motor skills in your body.
All right.
And it have a lot to do with, in my case, the way I walk, my gait, and the way I speak. And in some cases, it has something to do with how people process stuff. But in my case, I process very well.
So your process sounds okay. It's just the articulation that's difficult. So when people first meet you, oftentimes they have difficulty understanding you. But over time, they do get used to it and understand you more easily. What are things that are helpful for people to understand you?
I am a public speaker. I've been a speaker for almost 50 years. When I engage in a congregation, I normally try to meet them on one-on-one basis before I speak. That way, they begin to understand my speech pattern, and when I'm up talking to other people and they can't understand me, I invite them to raise their hand, and I would go back to rephrase my last sentence that they could not understand. I will say it the way it was. I may use different words to explain what I'm talking about.
So you don't really mind if people ask you to repeat yourself?
Not at all. That is my business, is to help people to become aware of people with disabilities. And that is a part of the education process that I adopted when I began the organization Breakthrough Inc.
Yeah, we'll talk about Breakthrough in just a minute. Could you tell us a little bit about your family growing up?
Mom and Dad was not rich, but we had whatever we wanted. We live a very simple life. I am a farmer. My dad was did a lot of stuff, but he was a mechanic in a John Deere shop, and that's why if you would walk into my house, you would see John Deere's all over my place because I have a lot of John Deere's. And when I got married today, she adopted my fanatical about John Deere stuff. So, and I also have a sister that is 2.5 years older than I am, that live in North North Dakota. My father, about 6 years ago, passed away at the age of 85, but he lived a great life, did a number of jobs, but in the last 14 years of his career, he was a janitor at the public school in my hometown in Kenmare, North Dakota.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
I have one sister named Terry, and she lives in Minot, North Dakota, along with my mother. They live in the same city. My mother is at the age where she needs some assistance, so a couple years ago she moved from Kimmer to Minot to be close to my sister so they can help, so my sister could help her.
And how did your folks deal with your disability as you were growing up?
Well, many of you that have heard me speak here